Hi guys! So today I'm going to use one of the newer vinyl silhouettes that I created, and this is what the vinyl silhouettes look like when you order them on my CraftyJenn art store. They are made with a really strong vinyl, and this one is the Dolphin. So you're going to notice that I do snip a little bit here and at the top, and that's just so that when you go to remove the positive or negative side, you don't get this little band of vinyl that'll peel off and potentially wreck your vinyl or your painting or anything. So, but this one is the Dolphin, so I'm just going to peel it off. And what you can do is you can peel off a little bit, because some of the silhouettes have intricate details, so sometimes it's just easier to peel off just a little bit. And I'm just going to line it up kind of where I want it, and I'll show you what the silhouette looks like. Just making sure I don't pull too hard on any of the ones that come like that. That way. And voila! So you'll see with each one you get the negative and the positive side on your vinyls, and you can use them for lots of different things. You could do an opposite effect and stuff, and they are replaceable and removable. So if I wanted to bring this down a little bit, I could. I kind of like it though right there. I think I might move the Dolphin, well, I like to do it in the first 1/3. So here's half, then a third and a third. So I might move him over just a little bit. Just like so. Yeah. That looks pretty good. So that is where I want to place them, because I'm going to do my wave, the ocean wave, over here. So it's going to build. And the nice part about using the vinyl silhouettes is that you can get the cells right up against the silhouette here. So some you'll see I've done where this is solid color against the silhouette, and some you'll see where I actually have the cells going right up against it. And you can only get that using the vinyl silhouettes here. So the way to adhere the vinyl silhouette to the canvas is super simple. I'm just going to grab a brush. So I just use some Liquid-X gloss varnish. I just have it in a different thing. Just a squeeze bottle, because I buy it by the bucket. So there'll be links in the description for everything, and I greatly appreciate when you guys use my Amazon links, as it helps me out greatly and there's no extra cost to use. So thank you so much, guys. So I'm going to pour a little bit into a silicone cup. I can't find my really tiny ones. I might be cleaning them, so I'm just going to pour some on the side, on the bottom here. On my, I'm working on my Loli Vifi silicone mat, and if you check out the description, you can get $5 off on the Mega Jumbo mats. So by using code Jen5. Okay, so what you want to do is basically you just place it where you want it, and then you're going to lift up a portion of your silhouette, and you want to put Liquid-X gloss underneath, and you pull out from it, and then you're going to put that vinyl down into the wet Liquid-X gloss. Now you want a really thin layer, you don't want thick layer. And if it helps you out, you can kind of draw with a pencil just lightly, because you're going to be putting paint here anyways. So you can do that, so that when you peel up the vinyl, you kind of get a sense of where you got to put your Liquid-X gloss. So I just pick up a little bit and I push it around to make sure that it's underneath, but you want it to be thin. You don't want a thick layer. And then I just push it down with the brush over top. And that way I get a good seal. And when it dries, it will seal nice so that no paint should leak under. Alright, so we lift it up. Make sure you have no big heaping bumps of the Liquid-X gloss underneath. And I'm just going to do this whole area. Like so. And then I push this down onto the wet Liquid-X gloss. And I kind of grabbed some more so that I could put it over top of the vinyl. And you'll see that it'll stick down to the canvas, creating a nice seal. Now don't worry about getting any Liquid-X gloss over here. You're just going to be putting paint over top of it. You won't even see it. So now this area, I should have done all the way up to the nose here, but that's okay. I'm just going to put some down right here. So beneath and out from it. And then put it down when it's wet, and I just use the paintbrush to push that vinyl down and create that final seal. And I keep going over this area here, making sure that it's nice and thin. I don't want too thick. Just like so. And Liquid-X gloss varnish does dry fairly quickly, so that's kind of nice. You don't have to wait too long before you create your acrylic pour and swipe. Oh. Making sure it stays thin. Push that back down with the brush. Create that nice, beautiful seal so that the paint won't go underneath the vinyl. And I'm excited because with the Dolphin, I can create the wave all the way up to the silhouette. Now with the edges, sometimes you kind of gotta hold it down until that Liquid-X gloss actually does dry, but not too bad. And there you have it. So just give that a couple seconds to dry, and I'll come back with some paint, and we'll do the ocean wave with the beautiful Dolphin. Okay, so I've mixed up my colors. I've got white, silver, and I did metallic cobalt blue and a dark blue, which is just blue and black mixed together. And the key with mixing your colors, if you're going to mix a different color than what comes out of the tube, is make sure you mix your color first, get what you like, and then add your Floetrol. So here I've used I use Artist Loft. This is just their Flow Acrylic Blue. And then I also used a bit of their Flow Acrylic Black to create this color for my dark. And then this was Artist Loft Metallic Cobalt Blue, straight from the bottle. This is Flow Acrylic Silver, which I'm super happy they have silver now. And then just plain white. So that's what I'll be using today for the ocean. I'm just going to move these out of the way. Okay. So with all the colors mixed up, now all I'm going to do is I'm going to add the silicone, but I will not be putting silicone in the white. So that's how you kind of get your lacing or your difference of cells, is you can leave one of the colors without silicone. So I'm putting 2 drops of silicone in each of the colors just because there's quite a bit. This is the one I'm using now because I finally finished the other stuff. And I'm just gonna push it down to the bottom just like so. Just mixing it in a little bit. Making sure that the silicone gets in there good. And I also have my palette knife to work with for creating the wave. So, to start off with, so this is all dry and sealed now for the most part. And I'm just going to do my dark color at the bottom. And you can let it just drip right over the edge. You can have some of the dark come up a little bit. If you have extra, just leave it in your cup and you can use it to create a paint skin after. Now for the pretty blue. Kind of a double wave here. Might put a bit more here. Blue's a little thicker. I should have made it a bit thinner, but that's okay. This is for just the highlights on the wave. And then my white. It's just going to fill the rest of the space. You can add a bit in here. Just like so. Now because I'm working on the Lowly Leafy silicone mat, any of the paint that pours off, I can just create a paint skin, peels off really easy. It's super awesome. So I'm just going to move my paint around. And actually I got to grab some paper towel. Because I don't want to, I want to wipe off the excess. So I push some on the mat here. So you can see the cells are already happening. So I'm just gonna, in a motion, create a nice, really pretty wave. And any of the extra paint I'm gonna put onto my mat. And I find that when you pull it over other areas like that, you kind of get the cells happening more and more. Just like so. And the cells will just keep growing, so I like what's happening here. Might pull some of this right off the edge. Just like that. A turbulent wave here. Now somewhere in here is a dolphin. So I'm hoping I got a lot of the, I kind of like what's happening right in here. So I might leave it. Might just pick up some of this gray so there's not so much of it. I might drag some of it back through because I might want some more white in here. So I might pull some right here. Now you can decide if you want more white or you want more blue to happen, and that's just how you can figure out how you want the paint to move. Like if I wanted to bring more blue in, I can. And I'll put the extra off. And then if I wanted to bring more of this white back, but not the whole way. Something like that. So I could see some of the vinyl right there. So the nice part is I am going to get cells all the way right up to the silhouette here, which will be really cool. And you can tip as well to move the paint around. I'm going to torch a bit. Just be careful when torching, you don't torch the vinyl because it will melt. Pretty cool. Just picking up some of the side to cover some of the area. So I can tell right now there's a lot of pooling paint right there. And you can tip up a bit and kind of move your paint around if you want, or you can use your palette knife to help move it and perhaps get some of the paint out from this pooled area. I kind of like that. I like how it's small here and then it's going into bigger and bigger cells. So I can also take my positive side, and I know kind of where this line comes up, so I can kind of see what's happening with my wave. Where that dolphin is right in here. So the dolphin's going to be a little bit gray, a little bit blue. So a lot of this paint here is on the vinyl. If I take this and just double check, this is mostly all vinyl right here, so I can just peel that off. That way it just won't take as long to dry. Oh, there's my dolphin. Which is perfect because it's in the gray zone here. Beautiful. I see a little eye even forming. That'd be cool if it worked out. Okay, so that is just a simple way of doing an ocean wave with the dolphin silhouette. This is going to take a while to dry because there's quite a bit of paint. Make sure to always get your edges because that's often forgotten. And I just pick up paint with my fingers and kind of dab it on so that it gets good coverage. And you can also run your finger along the bottom. That way you can get all the excess paint off. So you can create your paint skin. So I'm just checking to... Hard to see the top, but I think I got good coverage up there. Because I'm going to go show you guys before this dries is what I do for a paint skin. So I'm going to move this guy out of the way and let's create a paint skin with the excess paint. Okay, I really love these paint skins because it's pretty and blue. So all I really do is I pull the paint to the middle. This is just an easy way to create a really pretty paint skin and use up all your paint. Now paint skins can be used for jewelry and I got lots of videos you can watch on what to do and how to create a paint skin. So I have a lot of extra paint and I don't want to waste any of it, so I'm just going to collect all the paint out from the cups and to make a nice beautiful bluey ocean themed paint skin. And remember, this paint still has silicone in it, so you will get cells on in your paint skin. And they'll just keep growing because they're growing on the silicone mat. These silicone mats have been super awesome for creating paint skins and cleanup because it totally protects the surface of your table so that nothing gets burnt, nothing gets destroyed. And you just collect all this paint out of here, which is awesome. Your hands get very messy. And then I just kind of pull it and pull it like this to create the paint skin. And you're gonna see that the cells are gonna start to grow as it spreads out from the center. Now you can take your torch. I don't have to worry about the surface because it's silicone. And voila! Pretty pretty. So, once everything's dry, I'll come back and we'll finish the painting. Okay, so this is all dry now, and it looks really awesome. Obviously you can't see the dolphin yet, but I'm going to remove the vinyl and reveal the silhouette of the dolphin. So you just want to take your time, peel it back gently, don't rush too much. This one is a canvas from Michaels, so it's the Artist Loft, I think it's the #1, so it's a cheaper canvas, so you might get some peeling up of the gesso, but I can show you how to fix it if it does happen here. Well, sometimes you kind of gotta figure out where your vinyl is. This one I kind of got to peel it back a bit. There we go. And that's just a wave right there. Actually, this is another one. And a good thing to have on hand when you're doing this is an X-Acto knife. So if it does rip like it just did, you can gently pick up the vinyl and peel it back. Just like that. This is just the dolphin right here. I'm just going to peel him off. There's just a little piece right here. So you can see I have some of the gesso peeling up, and because it's a cheaper canvas, the canvas is actually quite sparingly spread out for holes. But this is fixable, guys, so don't worry. If you buy a higher quality canvas, you don't have this issue as much. But I like to do it with the cheapest quality Michaels, just for anybody that uses them. This way you know how to fix it. Peel that off. You can see we have the dolphin here, and I can see right here is where the silhouette is for the last little piece. Always sometimes trying to get the last little piece off. Just take your time. You could definitely get it. So this is his little fin up here. Just like so. And just carefully peel this last little piece off. And there. Awesome. So the nice part is you can get cells right up to the edge of the silhouette with these vinyls, and they come right over, which is really cool. And they create a little bit of a lip so that you can hand paint up next to it, which is pretty cool. Now this one has a little bit of paint that leaked under and it is a bit raised, so I'm going to grab my Dremel and I'll show you how to fix this, and I'll show you how to fix all this, and then we'll hand paint this side. Okay, so to repair some of the bumpy paint, I'm just using a Dremel with like a sanding disc on the end, and as long as you can hand sand it, but as long as you're careful, it should totally be fine. So all I do, because it's right here, so it's going to get loud, I just kind of sand it flat and even with the canvas, not pushing too hard, just to make sure I get that bump off of there. So why am I doing this? This is because so that when you paint your negative space, you won't have a raised area of paint. It'll all be nice and flush. So I just sanded everything, and now I'm going to fix these holes by just adding some gesso. So I'm just going to grab my gesso. I'm just using Liquid-X gesso, and there's links in the description for all the supplies, and I greatly appreciate when you guys use them, as they help me out greatly. So just take a little bit out of the bottle on a paintbrush, and you're just filling these holes in. Just like this, and just putting it right up against the silhouette here, because the hole actually went right against it. And this way, I might have to do, because this is a large patch, I might have to do a couple coats here. That's okay. Smaller ones you can get away with just like putting a little bit on and it's totally done, and you don't have to worry about it. But larger areas, if you get a large area that happens, all you gotta do is just fill it in, do a couple coats. If you get some on your actual cells, just kind of wipe it off right away with your finger or a piece of paper towel. And then I just kind of hold the brush really close to the canvas like this and do a smooth brush stroke so that it flattens that gesso out nice. And you just keep going around filling in all the holes, like right there. Keeping it fairly close to the canvas helps make it flat and it doesn't peel it off. This is another large area, so I just fill it in just like so. Take your time, you don't have to rush it, just work on it. And then this way, you know, nothing ever gets, you know, your painting's not ruined. You can totally fix it. So if this happens to you, don't fret, because you can fix it, and that's why I like doing it on these canvases, because everybody's kind of, you know, using them and stuff. Not everybody can afford the really expensive canvases or wooden. Although if you were to use a wooden canvas, you wouldn't have any of these issues, but just know that if you do use just the cheapo canvases, you can fix them. So there's no issues after. Just making sure that all that's filled in. And there we have it. Now I'm going to have to let that dry before I can paint the negative space. Obviously I might have to do a little bit more gesso in here, but it actually filled in quite nice. And I'm going to show you also what happens on the back, so I'm going to have to hold it up. So you're going to see this right here? That's the gesso that went through the canvas, because this is a cheap canvas. It had very spaced out threads. Don't touch this, just let it dry and just leave it on the back. Because if you were to now go and wipe this, when you flip it over, it's going to wreck all the work you just did on the front. So just let that dry completely, and then we'll come back and I'll paint the negative space. Okay, so the gesso is all dry now, and this is pretty much ready to go. I do have the positive side of my vinyl, which you get when you order my pre-cut vinyl, so you get the negative side and the positive side. and I think I might use it. You can just hand paint this side if you want to, or you can use the positive side to protect your painting, your cells, and then quickly paint the negative side. I've done it with the Howling Wolf one and it worked really good, so I think I might use this. I'm gonna pull over my Lowly VF matte though, so excuse the because I want to sorry about moving the camera. I want to show you guys the awesome, look at this paint skin. It looks so good. So this is the paint skin. Maybe oh, you guys can see it there. This is the paint skin that came from that swipe we did. And I'm going to peel it off because I'm going to paint that negative space, so I don't want to get anything on my table. And because I'm working on the Lowly VF silicone mat, which you can get a discount if you use code my code Jenn5. See how easy it is to peel off your paint skin? And you get this gorgeous paint skin that you can use to, I'm going to use this as a book cover because it's nice and big. Another book cover. But I just wanted to show you guys that. I'm going to pull my painting back. I'm going to put this paint skin over here for a second. And I'm going to wrap it in parchment paper, that paint skin, to protect it. Alright, I think you guys can see. There we go. So all I do for the positive side, I'm just going to peel off this. And I'll line it up perfectly after, but I'm just going to, it's because there's little pieces, just kind of roll it off. Maybe I'll just pull it off. You just got to be careful that you don't, it doesn't stick to itself, because it is kind of staticky sometimes. So this is where the fun is, but just take your time, line it all up. I'll just line up the Dolphin and everything should kind of fall into place from there, really. And it should be exact because technically this is the exact positive of it. Right there, I think. So I'll just hold that. And the nice part is it's, you could peel this up and move it around until you get it in the perfect spot. I'll just take my finger and kind of burnish down a little bit. It's not gonna totally like stick where it ruins your painting, which is nice. So just like that. Beautiful. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of the metallic cobalt blue and just some Artist Loft white. Those are two colors I have back here. And I'm going to do a gradient of the metallic blue up to white for the negative. That's why I'm using the positive here. Grab my paintbrush. I'll grab a couple. So because I'm using this, I should be able to do a blend relatively easy. And whoop, so you'll see it's not going to stick permanently. And so what you want to be very careful of is when you're putting your paint on, you always pull away from the vinyl, because if you were to pull this way, it might peel it up a little bit, and that probably wouldn't be fun. I'm going to put some of this here. This is the metallic cobalt blue, which is so pretty. And then some white. Oops, up here. It's almost empty, so I just wanted to use it up. But the nice part is you get a bunch of paint on here. Just like so, and you just brush it. Make sure to get the sides really good. Don't forget those sides. Even a little bit under. just like this, so I don't have to worry about it later. Beautiful. I might have put too much blue. But if I did, I could always put it back in the bottle too. Now these bottles have a really small little cap, so when you put them back in, it does take a while. But I just squish it like that and then tap the bottom. Just so you know that you can, like if you put too much of this paint out, don't be afraid to put it back in the bottle if you use too much paint. Nice little helpful tip for saving your paint. Because once it's in the bottle and you seal it and the air can't get to it, it's pretty much good to go again. So, because I put way too much out, which happens because we're, you know, nobody's perfect. But yeah, I'll just keep adding a little bit here. I'll probably speed this up. So now I'm going to bring in some of this white because I want to do a blend. And a nice, bring in a bit more of that white. Always making sure that I never push towards the vinyl. Otherwise, I will have issues where it'll probably pop up. And I probably put way too much. I'm going to move this. Way too much white on here as well, but I can always put a little. I put less white than I did the copper, so this way you can get a nice blend on your negative side, because I wanted it to be a little bit that's too dark. I want to go lighter. So I'm pulling away from the vinyl to do my blending. Being very careful over here. Make sure that vinyl's pushed down. Just like so. I'm gonna have to get the edges. And then it's just a matter of blending it nicely. I'll pull from this side out. And then it'll go from a lighter color to a darker color. Should be kind of nice. Just making sure that blends really nice. There's enough acrylic on here. It could almost be like the sky. I'm holding my brush closer to the canvas, so not straight up and down, so that I can get this good blending into this water. Oh, looks like we have a little piece of something there. So just do the streaks from the vinyl out, just like so, so it kind of looks like it's water going into sky. Beautiful. And I start from here on the vinyl and I go out. Just like that. Then of course I'll do the sides. Get those all nice and covered. And probably do one more. Ooh. Got too much blue. Because I'm using a lot of acrylic paint right now. Okay, I don't mind that. So now that I have, see, it doesn't take very long when you have this protected with the vinyl, the positive side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this now. I'm going to just make sure that all the edges are good. But so far I really love it. So here's the magic. And just make sure you don't put any of this down close to it, otherwise you're going to get paint where you don't want paint. And voila! That looks awesome. I might touch up a little bit, like just on a few edges here, so I'll grab some little brushes just to fix a few things. Other than that, that's pretty much, guys, how you can use the positive side to protect your silhouette. And then you could do an ombre effect. I like how this is kind of like sky into water, and then this is the big wave coming in with the dolphin who's more gray here. I really love it. And there's some blue on his back with some cells. And you get this really wild cellular action, which is kind of like the ocean wave just crashing through. So I think it looks pretty cool. I'll probably do a few touch-ups and I'll photograph it, but thanks so much, guys, for subscribing, watching, liking, commenting. I greatly appreciate it. You guys are amazing. And thank you so much for using my Amazon links. They help me out greatly, and there's no extra charge to you. And I love it when you guys do that and help me out. So thank you so much. And I hope you are enjoying my videos, and I hope you have a blast creating. Thanks so much, guys.